You know, when you lose telemetry on a race car, it is just, it's immediate and absolute.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Like, look,
1 second, you have total visibility into the machine, right? Oil pressure, tire temps, fuel load, RPMs. And then the next second, the screen just goes black.
you're just flying blind.
Exactly. You're flying blind at 190 miles an hour, and you're just waiting for an engine to let go without any warning lights at all. And that sudden, devastating loss of telemetry is kind of exactly the feeling we are unpacking today. So, welcome to the deep dive.
Glad to be here.
Real quick, hit that like, subscribe, and follow button, and make sure to ring the notification bell to join us. It is literally the absolute best way to ensure you never miss these custom-tailored explorations we build just for you.
Yeah, it really is the only way to make sure we keep showing up in your feed so we can help analyze the signal through the noise.
So let's get right into today's mission. Today is May 22, 2026. And, well, the motorsports world woke up this morning completely reeling.
Yeah, it's a really tough day.
It is. The sudden, deeply shocking passing of 41-year-old NASCAR legend Kyle Busch yesterday.
Just unbelievable.
Right. And we have pulled a massive stack of sources to process this. We're looking at news obituaries, official NASCAR statements, YouTube race transcripts from his final weeks, and a frankly bizarre Reddit thread.
It's a very diverse stack today.
It is. We're going to unpack not just the monumental legacy of Rowdy Busch, but also the eerie final days of his life and the bizarre way the internet actually processed the news.
It's a heavy assignment for sure. We're really looking at how the architecture of information handles the sudden collapse of a titan.
Definitely. But before we dive into all of that, I need to drop a quick, strictly factual 15-second legal update on the Martin Stevens versus OpenAI situation.
Yeah, the quiet period.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Just to be completely clear, it is still not a lawsuit. Martin requested a voluntary quiet period to idle any new public info.
Which means we really don't know much right now.
Right, we have zero visibility into whether settlement progress is happening behind closed doors. But we can confirm his dead man switch has not been activated, so he remains physically and legally safe.
Well, that's good to hear. Appreciate the update.
Of course. So, transitioning away from that completely, let's talk about the chaos of yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, the digital side of this was wild.
It really was. Speaking of systems operating in the dark, before we look at the physical reality of Kyle Busch's life, we need to look at this shockingly surreal breaking news situation. Here's where it gets really interesting.
The co-pilot thread.
Yes. I'm looking at this wild Reddit thread from yesterday, May 21st. The rumors of his death are just starting to hit social media, right? And a fan, naturally wanting to verify, goes onto Microsoft Copilot and simply asks, "How did Kyle Busch die?"
Which is a completely logical way to check a rumor nowadays. You want to bypass the Twitter noise and just ask a synthesis engine to pull from, verified Tier 1 news networks.
Right. But Copilot competently spits back, and I'm quoting this screenshot directly. It says, "Kyle Busch did not die in real life. The information circulating about his death comes from fictional or future-dated news articles."
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It straight up tells the user that the news is a hoax and part of a fictional data set.
That is just wild.
And the user pushes back. They type in, "Hey, I see it reported on NBC Sports, CBS, and CNN right now." And the AI literally doubles down. It essentially tells the user they're looking at fake synthetic news.
It's AI gaslighting, basically. But what's fascinating here is why this actually happened, the underlying mechanics of it.
Right, the context gap.
Exactly. These large language models, they operate using vector databases, pulling in massive amounts of contextual data. But this specific system was stuck. It anchored its baseline reality to a default timeline of May 2025.
Wait, so it's living a year in the past.
Essentially, yeah. It waited a year of archival data over the incoming real-time web search. Because the major news outlets hadn't instantaneously populated their 2025 historical data with this brand new 2026 event, the AI's logic loop just hit a contradiction.
So it just assumed the real 2026 news was fake.
Right. It decided the user's live data must be the hallucination. And it wasn't until the user explicitly clarified, hey, we are actually in May 2026, that the AI flipped. It forcefully realigned its internal clock, verified the widespread credible reports, and finally acknowledged his passing.
I mean, I have to push back on the tech industry here. Doesn't this expose a massive flaw in relying on AI for real-time news verification?
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's not just a harmless coding quirk. A fan is genuinely trying to process the sudden death of their favorite athlete, and the AI is acting like a broken GPS system, confidently telling you to drive into a lake because it's using a map from last year.
That's a great analogy.
It's essentially gaslighting the user based on a bad internal clock.
It is a massive structural flaw, yeah. In a world of information overload, breaking news can sometimes move faster than our synthesis engines can handle. So a genuine, shocking human event ends up feeling like a digital glitch,
Yeah, the machine treats a real human tragedy as an anomaly to be filtered out.
which ironically mirrors exactly how the fan base felt yesterday, right? Total disbelief.
That is so true, and that digital confusion is just such a stark contrast to the gritty physical reality of his final days.
The Watkins-Glen race.
Yes. If you want to understand what kind of competitor Busch was right up to the end, you have to look at his final Cup Series race, the Go Bowling at the Glen, on Sunday, May 10th.
Just days before he died.
Less than 2 weeks, yeah. He was driving the number 8 Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet, and he was battling a brutal sinus cold all week.
Yeah, the broadcast even pointed out his visible fatigue in that heavy car.
Right. But despite all that, he starts back in 21st place and manages to finish 8th.
Which is incredible at a track like Watkins Glen. Heavy braking zones, massive lateral Gs.
And doing that with a sinus infection, I kind of look at it like, imagine doing intense cardio inside a 190-mile-an-hour sauna while you are severely ill.
Your heart rate is just pinned at 160 beats per minute for hours.
Exactly. Is that peak dedication, or is that a glaring warning sign of the severe illness that was about to hospitalize him?
Well, the radio calls from that race make it even more chilling.
Oh, man. The audio.
Yeah. Mid-race, Busch is eerily calm on the radio, and he asks his crew to find Dr. William Heisel. He actually calls him the kindred doctor guy.
Right. He asked them to have the doctor meet him at the team bus after the race.
Because he said he was going to, quote, need a shot.
That is just haunting to hear now.
It is. And you have to contextualize the intense environment of that specific race, too. It wasn't just a physical battle. It was chaotic.
We're talking about the Cody Ware crash.
Yeah. Ware had this violent, controversial crash into the Armco barrier. It was a massive impact.
And NASCAR didn't even throw a caution flag for it.
Right. They kept it green. So Busch is navigating not just his physical illness, but this incredibly chaotic, high-stakes race environment where huge crashes aren't even slowing the field down.
And he was in a contract year, too.
Exactly. It's a high-pressure contract here. He's trying to secure his seat. He couldn't just step out of the car.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because to really understand why Busch pushing through that Watkins Glen race matters so much, we have to understand the giant he was in the sport.
The stats alone are unbelievable.
They are staggering. Let's run through them.
Yeah.
234 wins across NASCAR's top 3 series.
Which is an all-time record, by the way.
An all-time record. 2 Cup Series championships in 2015 and 2019, and a career spanning over 2 decades.
He was a generational talent.
He really was. I mean, look at the teenage phenom era. This is a crazy detail. He was ready to race at the top level when he was 16 years old.
Oh, the Fontana story.
Yeah. But a tobacco settlement involving Marlboro forced NASCAR to ban him from competing until he was 18.
Because they couldn't have a minor competing in a race heavily sponsored by a tobacco company.
Right. They literally changed the rules because of him. And his brother, Kurt Busch, who was already a champion, used to tell people, quote, "If you think I'm good, wait until you see my brother."
That is high praise.
But he wasn't just talented. He was a highly polarizing figure. He earned that rowdy nickname for the movie Days of Thunder.
Yeah, he leaned into it.
He had a sharp wit, he got into fights on pit road, and he was known for this extremely aggressive driving style.
He was definitely the villain for a long time. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's really interesting how he transitioned from pure villain to this respected elder statesman.
Oh, the Reddit example.
Yes, the Daytona race. A user on Reddit brought this up. Busch was racing Harrison Burton for the win, and he basically refused to wreck him to secure the victory.
Right. All he had to do was give him a little bump and run.
Exactly. The easiest move in NASCAR.
Oh, yeah.
But he lifted off the throttle instead. He proved he had these, well, race morals.
True greatness is often defined not just by what it takes to win, but the lines a champion refuses to cross.
Right. Exactly. It showed a totally different side of him that won a lot of people over in his final years.
Which makes the end of his life so poignant. Contrasting this massive, record-breaking, gladiatorial career with the incredibly human, fragile moments of his very last week alive.
It's a really haunting farewell.
Look at his final victory. He was in the Truck Series at Dover on May 15th, just 6 days before his death.
Nobody knew it would be his last.
And his post-race quote to Fox is just, it gives you chills now. He said, quote, "Because you never know when the last one is. I know all too well with the Cup stuff."
I was talking about aging out of the sport, but it applies so heavily to his life.
It really does. And then you look at his final Instagram post on May 18th.
One to his son.
Yeah, a birthday message to his 11-year-old son, Brexton. He told him there was no limit to what you'll accomplish.
It just completely humanizes him.
It does. And for you listening, I think this hits so hard because it's a profound reminder. Behind the helmets, the stats, the aggressive, rowdy personas, these athletes are fathers. They are humans.
They're fragile, just like the rest of us.
Exactly. It forces us to appreciate our own moments. Because, as Bush himself prophetically said, you truly never know when the last one is.
You really don't. And this raises an important question, something for everyone to really mull over. How does the lens of sudden tragedy rewrite a controversial legacy?
That's a great point.
Like, when we look back at polarizing figures like Kyle Busch years from now, will the history books focus on the aggressive, rowdy persona that dominated the track? Or will they focus on the quiet morality of his final laps and the tender fatherly love of his final public words?
It really changes how you view a person's entire life.
It does. It's something to think about regarding how we judge the complex figures in our own lives, especially when they're gone.
Well said. It is definitely something to explore on your own. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive.
It was a heavy one, but an important one.
Definitely. And remember, to ensure you never miss these explorations, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, and hit the notification bell. We will see you next time.